and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions, and it's just unfortunate that some people would take advantage of our mission and then also the donors' generosity toward our mission.
The holiday season is all about giving, but what if the charity you're giving to is a scam? It's becoming all too common during the holidays. In fact, the Better Business Bureau says they've seen an uptick in charity scams, and scammers are finding new ways to target you. Take a look at what you need to know before donating to that charity. Scammers are at it again. This time, they're preying on something that helps those in need, charities. And scammers are starting to use new methods. They're even texting your phone.
There's been an uptick in texting scams, so it doesn't surprise me that we're starting to see some ways to give through your mobile devices.
But charities are fighting back. Make-A-Wish, for example, they know scammers are out there and stopping them in their tracks.
Sometimes there are people who want to take advantage of the goodwill, of the generosity that's seen this time of year.
Make-A-Wish uses a variety of fundraising tools, but showing up at your door asking for money is not one of them.
Make-A-Wish does not solicit door to door. So if there is anyone who ever comes to your door saying that they're from Make-A-Wish, that is not true.
They stick to online options and even stay away from phone calls. So what can you do to make sure the charity you're giving to is legitimate?
This is likely that it's going to go to the fires that are out west.
Heather All with the Better Business Bureau says to do your research. There are a number of sites you can visit to confirm if an organization is valid. And if the caller seems too pushy, hang up the phone.
One of the biggest markers or red flags of charity scams is a high pressure, high emotional sales pitch.
It's always great to give, especially during the holidays, but do a quick Google search before donating that money. And one of the websites you can visit to confirm if a charity is legitimate is charitynavigator.org. The Better Business Bureau says any of these sites that end in .org are going to be more reliable. You can also find a full list on our website, valleynewslive.com. And speaking of the holidays, for all those people dreaming of a white Christmas, it looks like they're going to get one. Is that right, Robert?
It looks like for many of us we will have a white Christmas. However, right now we have temperatures well above our normal highs. Our normal high in Fargo today, 21, and we're at 36 right now. In fact, most of the area in the 30s, even some low 40s, 43 in Siston and Aberdeen, 28. Up in the Langdon area, winds, they've been relatively light. They'll stay relatively light as we head through the overnight hours. Kind of breezy, though, as we head through your Tuesday. Wind chills as cold as 18 in Langdon, 25 in Badette, 23 in the Bemidji area. Quite a bit of cloud cover, but we'll see decreasing clouds as we head through this evening. Tomorrow we will see some sunshine out there mixed with some clouds. Underneath those clouds, the steadiest of snow has pushed east of our region. However, can't rule out a few flurries, a few sprinkles as we head through the next several hours. Here in Fargo, as we head through the evening hours, temperatures steady to very slowly falling through the mid-30s into the lower 30s, and can't rule out an isolated sprinkle or a flake or two as we head through this evening. We do have some big changes first. Some snow on Wednesday, then some bitterly cold weather as we head through the Christmas holiday. We'll detail all that coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And a woman has pleaded guilty to manslaughter after her boyfriend died from a YouTube stunt that went wrong. 20-year-old Mona Lisa Perez told authorities she and her boyfriend, Pedro Ruiz III, were filming a video when she shot him. It happened at the end of June at a home in Norman County. Ruiz died from a single gunshot wound to his chest. Perez told police that Ruiz wanted to make a YouTube video of her shooting a book, and he believed that book would stop the bullet. Perez said that the entire incident was recorded. Police took the camera footage as evidence. Perez could spend more than 10 years in jail, and a sentencing date has not yet been set. And we have new information about a deadly crash through the ice on a Minnesota lake. Authorities have now identified a Minnesota woman that died after going through the ice on a lake in Hubbard County. The sheriff's office was called out to Grace Lake just before midnight last Friday to rescue a woman that was unable to get out of the water after crashing through the ice on a UTV. Deputies say 27-year-old Ethan Oftedal was able to get out of the water and call for help. but rescuers had to use a hovercraft to pull out 23-year-old Lauren Lund of Bemidji. Both were taken to an area hospital by ambulance. Lund was pronounced dead at the hospital, and Oftedal had to be treated for hypothermia. And we're taking a look at the scene of a deadly train crash today in Washington state. The Associated Press is reporting at least 6 passengers have died in the violent Amtrak train derailment in DuPont, which is just southwest of Tacoma. Frantic rescue efforts have been underway throughout the day, with at least 77 people rushed to local hospitals. Meg Oliver is in New York with the latest.
Emergency, emergency, emergency. We are on the ground. Okay.
The conductor's voice in the terrifying moments immediately after the crash of Amtrak train 501. That train jumped the tracks Monday morning as it made its inaugural run out of a new station in Tacoma, Washington, about 40 miles south of Seattle. The NTSB says investigators are only just beginning to piece together what happened.
It's a little bit too early to know. Right now, we're sending investigators onto the scene.
The derailment left cars dangling off a bridge and on Interstate 5 below. Adrian Thompson was on his way to visit his mother, working on his computer when disaster struck.
All of a sudden, I just feel a whole bunch of turning and rocking of the train, and I just grabbed onto the chair in front of me for dear life. My laptop went flying, my phone went flying. It was all the way at the other end. People were screaming. It was crazy.
Dramatic images show cars crumpled on top of each other on the ground below the tracks. President Trump offered his sympathies to those involved.
We are closely monitoring the situation and coordinating with local authorities.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office reports most of the injuries and fatalities happened on board the train, not the highway below. The State Department of Transportation says the south side of the interstate will remain closed indefinitely. Meg Oliver, CBS News.
The governor has issued a state of emergency following the crash. And President Trump warned of global rivals that are tough, tenacious, and committed in a speech outlining his national security strategy. The president also emphasized putting America's interests first, economic strength, and prioritizing foreign relationships that benefit U.S. national security. Trump called China and Russia rival powers that are challenging American influence. And he said he'll attempt to build partnerships with them, but only in ways that benefit U.S. national interest.
But while we seek such opportunities of cooperation, we will stand up for ourselves and we will stand up for our country like we have never stood up before.
Trump also claimed that on issues ranging from Afghanistan to battling ISIS to trade in the economy, America is coming back strong. And the Valley News Live team is also excited to bring you coverage of the road to Frisco for the Bison football team's championship bid. We've got full team coverage with the Valley News Live sports team and the whole Bison football pregame crew, along with Mike Morkin, bringing us live coverage from Frisco, Texas. That leads us up to game day on January 6th. The Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show will start at 9:30 on game day, all the way up to 11 a.m. kickoff between the North Dakota State Bison and James Madison at Toyota Stadium for the FCS Championship. Still ahead tonight,